Hi everyone, welcome back. Okay, I owe you a humongous apology. It's been 2 months since I last spoke about the retinols, and this is kind of the one that so many of you were waiting for. I'm sorry. I'm not even going to bother giving you the excuses. I'm sorry. I'm going to touch on, instead of doing, I was going to do a few more dedicated videos, but to be honest, I think by then I'm going to be over it and it's going to be annoying. So what I'm going to do is touch on all of these professional, I'll come to that in a minute, brands, and then give them a big dedicated blog post so it is there forever in terms of listing. So for example, Medicate have 12 vitamin A products. I'd rather list them all and see who they're for and all that sort of stuff so that you have it to hand. I'm doing this a lot. I'm going to touch on everything I've been asked about that's left over. If there's anything else, I think what I'll do in a couple of weeks when the dust is settled, I'll do a final retinol Q&A and almost a recap, maybe talk about the favourite stuff I thought I didn't know I would like and stuff I did like, things like that. So I'll probably do a roundup video in a couple of weeks, which gives people time to watch this one, time to send me any questions, things like that. So in the meantime, give me like next week and I will get the blog post done for this to back up this video. I'm going to touch on things that I don't think I should be talking about, i.e. prescription, because I'm not a doc, but I'm going to touch on them and I'll tell you why. So let's just start with the one I'm asked about a lot, which is Defying. This is Defying. You can buy it in the USA over the counter, and that law came in, that law changed when I was in the USA and I bought like 6 tubes. This is adapalene gel, 0.1% acne treatment. Now, Defying is obviously the brand name, adapalene is the ingredient name, and you can get this on a prescription from the UK, but to buy it like this, this is how it looks in the USA. Adapalene is in the family, but it's a cousin, is the best way of looking at it. So it is a good treatment for topicals, treatment for spots. It varies a little bit. They've actually just changed their wording, which I think is because they're now over the counter, because they used to say it's perfectly safe to use AM and PM, it's perfectly safe if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, and now they've changed that, and now they say you can still use it AM and PM, but now they say don't use it if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. So I answered that question in the original Q&A. So this is perfect as an acne treatment. It will have some anti-aging benefits, but it's not in the same class as some of the more high-end and more technical retinol, retinoid, retinoate, all that sort of family that I'm about to talk about. But a shout out to Defying. If it works for you, that's fantastic, especially if you live in America. But you can get this on prescription for acne, which, to be honest, is where the whole retinol vitamin A story started. It started because it was being used in derm offices for acne patients, and they clocked on that actually it was making people's skin look more clarified. So it is great, but it's better if you have spots, is my opinion. Okay, I'm going to touch on prescription strength, and only because in the UK, so many people message me because you can buy them in Europe. So if you go to Greece, I think Portugal, I could be wrong. I've certainly bought them in Italy. I bought them in Florence, but they wouldn't give them to me in Venice. Certain countries in the EU will sell you a prescription strength retinoid across the desk in the pharmacy. These, however, are my prescriptions, actual prescriptions. And I did ask my derm to give me a couple of strengths, actually, so I could show you. Normally you wouldn't be given like 3 or 4. There's a mixture. There's Ketrel, 0.05, and Retinal, which is a really common one. The reason I'm mentioning these is purely because, again, I'm not a dermatologist, I am not a doctor, so I am not talking about these in a professional manner. I am telling you that if you are buying these overseas and you've previously used anything I've spoken about in the previous videos, you're going to get a shock when you use them on your face. So these, I would say you absolutely should buffer if you're not used to them. Start low. Don't be tempted to go on a girls' hen party to Spain and come back with 1% strengths, because your skin is going to make you pay for it. So they are fantastic. They do the job. They're obviously the gold standard. It's prescription strength. Just go easy. See if you can get them from a dermatologist so that you've got the carry-on advice alongside it, as opposed to getting an easy jet to Spain and picking them up. But I know everyone does that. That's why I'm mentioning them, as I say. And you'll see here, in case there is any doubt, there is a big picture of a pregnant lady and a massive red cross through it. So that's how they feel about that. I'm also asked a lot about this. A313 Pomade. This is from France. I have a feeling they are the same pharmaceutical company. I'll double check that. Maybe I haven't got time to look. Again, the massive pregnancy no-no, which is a bit ironic in this case because this isn't particularly strong. I gave this to a biochemist to have a look because you cannot for love nor money find the percentage, although it will say it reads as 200,000 UI per 100. We think it's around a 2% retinol, i.e. 0.2% retinol, which is why it's available over the counter. It's fine. It's people who love this love it, and obviously it's going to be cheaper than a lot of products that are also sold alongside it in French pharmacies. So if you are a pharmacy in France and you do know the percentage of this, by all means let me know and I will happily correct myself. But to our knowledge, we think it's around a 0.02. So it's on the milder side, but it's in a I'll show you because everyone was asking me what it looks like. It just looks like it's a rich emollient base, and I am trashing the place, hang on. It is literally just like a normal, kind of like a see-through, more petroleum-based gel, I suppose. Like I say, it certainly smells like a retinol. So that is to my knowledge. Like I say, if you can correct me, please do. But yeah, just a shout out to that because I'm always asked about A313. There are a few products in French pharmacies that always, homeoplasmine, I think it's Avibon, there's another one, but this is the one that's still around. You can still get homeoplasmine. This is one I'm asked about a lot, so hopefully that has helped. But to my knowledge, it's fairly mild. Okay, Retroderm Max. Retroderm, the original, was in one of my previous videos. This is Retroderm Max. You can buy this in professional clinics and salons. This is by Aestheticare, protein-rich retinol skin serum. The difference is this is a 1%, the other one is a 0.5, and if you look on the inci list, the ingredients start, is it helpful I've got bright neon pink coral nails today? The ingredients start here, they end here, and the retinol is underlined there, it's black, so it's really high up. This is very much designed to be used as and you can tell, look at the telltale yellow. Designed to be used as a nighttime serum. So they are very clear, despite other brands saying you can use it AM, PM. Most of these brands are going to tell you nighttime, and most of these brands are professional brands. Make of that what you will. And like I said, all of these are going to get their dedicated space underneath. I've done like maybe 2 or 3 of those so far on the blog, but I didn't want to get heavily into them until I covered this because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't saying something was a 3 on the scale of 1 to 5, and actually it was a 2 compared to these. That makes sense. Okay, Dermatica. I'm asked a lot about this too. This is a postal service with a derm attached. Now this might be your saving grace if you live in the UK, you cannot afford a dermatologist, but you want potent, high strength creams. You go online, you enter your details, you register with them, you have to send them three different pictures, 1, 2, and 3 of your skin. Then you get a phone call from one of their on-team dermatologists and they talk through your needs and what you need and what you want. So they recommended for me, and it comes like this. It also gets delivered to you once every, whatever the cycle will be. I think mine comes monthly. It comes like this, your treatment guide, everything's in there. This is your vial of cream. It's only a 15 ml and this is to be used in the nighttime. All of your instructions are here, and this is tretinoin. So this is the same as, please hold, as this, and hydroquinone, because I had a lot of pigmentation. Apply 1 to 2 pumps in the affected area once daily at bedtime. Do not apply near the lips, nostrils, eyes. Good advice, we've had that conversation. Okay, so what I love is that they say, because it is a prescription here, it says, do not use sunbeds, do not use if pregnant or at risk of pregnancy, we've had that conversation, avoid unnecessary sun exposure and use a sunscreen. So they are going proper, take us seriously. Now, I can't remember what it is now off the top of my head, but there is the equivalent in the USA, and I think they Instagrammed me the other day and asked me if I wanted to get in touch, and I can't remember what they're called, but there is the equivalent of a mail order prescription retinol service in the USA. I will find it and I will link it below. That is Dermatica, and of course, as with everything, pricing will be below because it saves me having to remember, and it also means I don't mess up. Okay, Obagi. Now, Obagi has two camps. We have Obagi Medical, which is the original Obagi skincare line. Dr. Obagi left this company and set up I call it Zeo Skin Health, which looks like this. You will have seen this. They actually sometimes sit next to each other in pharmacies. And started this company in 2007. He fell out with the original company. He started this. So when I'm talking about Obagi in this case, I'm talking about the original Obagi that literally says Obagi Medical. This is Retinol 0.5 and Retinol 1%. And then when you look at the inci list, as you can see, it starts there, it ends there, and the retinol is suitably high up the list. I haven't trialed these. I just wanted to show them because everyone was asking what the difference was between them and everything. But I can show you here. I love the packaging. It's very, very slow to dispense, so you're not going to waste any. See, my hand's going to be 25 years younger by the time I finish this retinol series. Yeah, fragrance-free, smells like a retinol. 0.5 gradually releases retinol, refining the appearance of skin texture and tone for a clearer looking skin. Apply once daily in the evening, pea-size amount, yada, yada, yada. So I mentioned him because it is available still in places like Wigmore Pharmacy in London, John Bell and Croydon, private skin spas and places like that. It's also very big in the States. So a shout out to that one. I did ask the new Obagi company, Zoe Skin Health by Dr. Obagi, if they had any retinol they wanted to send in, and I don't think we heard from them, so you snooze, you lose. Do you know what I mean? Right, okay, now let's do one of the ones I'm also asked about, but from other areas around the world. Environ. Environ is a range founded by Dr. Des Fernandez in South Africa many moons ago, and I was asked about this a lot because the whole line and his entire ethos is based around vitamin A. He is one of the early pioneers, one of the early embracers, is that a word? Embracers of vitamin A technology. And so what I zoned in on were the serums, because what is good about Environ is that it's very easy to follow. They have things like cleansers and toners, there's AVST, and it starts and it just goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Super easy to follow. In this case, we have concentrated retinol serum 1, concentrated retinol serum 2, you can see where I'm going here, and concentrated retinol serum 3. And the differences are, and this I am reading verbatim, they have increasing levels of vitamin A as with other Environ products. Users gradually progress up the levels for optimal effects. Retinol only in level 1 and retinol plus retinol palmitate in retinol 2. So that's going to give you a glow as well as work inside. So remember, retinol palmitate doesn't really penetrate that well. It tends to just resurface the skin. And then retinol plus retinol palmitate and retinol acetate, in levels 2 and 3, but it's just that number 3 is stronger. So number 1 is retinol only, and 2 and 3 are retinol and retinol palmitate and retinol acetate, plus vitamin C and E and colostrum and natural growth factors and blah, blah, blah. They are £42. I'm just going to tell you that because it's written on the paper in front of me. So their recommendation is start here if what you want is retinol in the Environ family. Okay, we're actually getting through them. Okay, another brand that I was asked a lot about, but from more niche circles, and I am going to read to you verbatim from my good friend Andy, who gave me a training session over Skype, bless him. Andy, I will link him below obviously, is a nice, high-tech, super advanced qualified facialist based out of Birmingham. I think you're in Birmingham, aren't you, Andy? I think you are. And he sells osmosis and uses osmosis in treatment. So I said to him, okay, I'm asked a lot about osmosis. Can you just cherry pick the 2 that you think people or readers would have the most interest in and the key points of difference? So we're now moving on to retinaldehydes. Osmosis use retinaldehydes, which are basically uber close to tretinoin or retinoic acid. So you've got one less stage of conversion, but they can be unstable, which is interesting because this brand and the next one I'm talking about have spent quite a lot of money in research in trying to encapsulate it with something else so that it stays sturdy and goes onto your skin nicely. So I will put all of this in a blog post specifically for osmosis, but clarify, and I'm going to tag Andy so that he can answer your questions. Buy it from him. Let's support independent businesses. Vitamin A serum for acne blemished skin. Now, this he loves using on people with acne or problematic skin. And acne, we would pretty much define as, it's not so much how it looks, is if it's all you think about when you wake up, you go to bed worried about it, you lost your self-confidence, and you have more spots than not. It would be safe to say you should probably go and get checked. You probably have traditional acne. One hormonal zit a month is not acne, despite what your 17-year-old daughter might scream at you once a month. Okay, vitamin A serum for acne and blemished skin can be used all over as a spot treatment. Can be used all over or just as a spot treatment, although Andy says, and I quote, "I never tell anyone to bother with that faff. That means use it all over." This is retinaldehyde at 0.05 plus, and here's the word, phosphatidylcholine. Can't say it, I just can't say it, I'm going to type it out on the screen. And niacinamide, and beta-glucans, and chlorella, and mandelic acid, and lactic acid. This stuff is basically a facialist dream. When you start seeing niacinamide, your eyes go, ooh, and retinaldehyde, ooh, and mandelic, ooh, and lactic. So if you have zits, and you want something that is better than a retinol, not quite prescription strength, and available over here, you could do much worse than to look at Osmosis Clarify. You would be clarified. If you have aging skin or retinol resilient skin, if your skin is like, yeah, you've used retinol on me for ages and it's not really going to get you anywhere, you need Renew. This is level 4. So, vitamin A serum for aging and or resilient skin. See what I did there? Retinaldehyde at 0.15%. And niacinamide, beta-glucan, willow herb, hyaluronic acid, peptides, and lactic again. This one is 75.50 and the correct is 52. This is in the UK and this is in pounds. Don't shout at me for not giving you dollars. I live in London. Okay, and then Andy says, and I will follow what he says because he is the king. This is most of Osmosis serums and not just the vitamin A's. You need to massage it well until it is sticky, and then you mist, and then you massage again. The more you work it in, the better. Follow with moisturizer or oil. He has given me some further information to clarify, and I'm going to pass that on to you. So I hope that answers a couple of your questions on Osmosis, because it was in the list of, oh, we've heard a lot about this brand. It is, again, American brand, but thanks to people like Andy, you can buy it here. Medicate. Now, Medicate deserve a huge blog post just on their own. Like I say, they have 12 retinol products. They have sent me all of them, and I'm going to touch on their points of difference and where you start. So for starters, there's an eye cream, advanced eye vitamin A serum. That's just a no-brainer for everyone. That's 0.1% retinol, so it's nice and gentle, but enough to get rid of fine lines and wrinkles. Marvellous, we'll have that, thank you. And it looks like that. That must be a little, yeah, look, like a teeny, almost like a teeny spatula. That is a 7 ml, but judging by the liquid inside, I think that would last just as long as a 15 ml cream or even longer. There's a Night Ritual Vitamin A Age-Defying Retinol Cream Night Cream. That is much more specific if you want nighttime products. Again, there'll be more in the blog. The core of their range is this lot. So allow me, because there's a lot. So you have, they look like this. There's Medicate. Now this is Medicate Retinol 3TR, 6TR and 10TR. They all look the same, you're not going blind. Then there is the Intense, which looks exactly the same. It has Intense written on it. So, and I've written all over the packaging. There's literally, there's numbers and there's what order they come in. Now, what you can see as you move up. So let's start with the original Retinol 3%. This is number 1 on my list, which means it is the mildest place to start, where you go if you're unsure. Medicate in terms of spa brands are up there and leading the way in terms of research, and they've been doing this for a long time. Now, designed to complement skin's nightly regenerative cycle. See what I did there? Nightly. Or what they did there, rather. Retinol 3TR resurfaces while you sleep to improve skin texture and restore radiance. The lightweight serum minimises the appearance of fine lines. Yada, yada, yada. Formulated with time-release technology. Okay, so it's an jojoba seed oil base, which means it's going to be slightly buffered for you. And retinol is down towards the end of the ingredients list. So it starts out nice and mild. And then on this lot, the alternative to that would be the Retinol 10TR Plus Intense. This is supercharged 1% vitamin A serum. This contains 1% retinol, vitamin E and clenbuterol, which is their the key ingredient they mix with things to boost their retinaldehydes. And they are, the retinaldehydes are in the next range, but to boost their retinols. I know it sounds confusing, which is why I said I'm going to do it in a blog post, because I know what it looks like because I can see it here, but to be watching it you must think they all look the same. This is in a squalane base, so again it's nicely buffered. Then it has dimethicone, retinol and clombazole. They're literally one after the other. So this is going to be much more effective than the 3. So if you wanted to, you could start with 3 and move up to 10. You could start with the 3 TR Intense if you're already using retinol and move up to the 10 TR Intense. If you think, do you know what, I don't want to use a retinol, I want to use a retinaldehyde or a Retinal, which is similar family, then you're looking at their 4 higher end products. So we have Crystal Retinol 6, and this is Retinal with an A, big difference, and Crystal Retinol 10. These are retinaldehyde, so these are one step closer to retinoic acid than these. This is going to not need as many conversion changes. It will work quicker on your skin. So maybe if you want to start here and gently work your way up. Again, this is their sort of, I would call this their sort of hero midline range. So they have the starter, you start off 6. They have the starter 6, then they have these, and then they have the 2 really high end ones. So these are retinaldehyde. I'm going to make sure I give you the right info here, people. In a hyaluronic acid base with organic carrot seed oil, and again, it's all time release, so it's microencapsulated. Advanced skincare for aging skins, highly effective for blemish-prone skin. So what they suggest is the original Intelligent Retinol series, which is the 3TR, the 6TR, and the 10TR, is entry products for younger skins 25 plus. The TR Intense, and you can bet I'm reading off of this. If you could see this desk, you know I'm going to get this info right. This is entry products for aging skins, which they class as 30 plus. That's a bit depressing. And this does contain the clombazole, which is their sort of hero ingredient, outside of the vitamin A, obviously. And then you've got Crystal Retinol 6 and 10. These are retinaldehyde. These are advanced skincare for aging skins of 30 plus, and they are highly effective if you have a blemished skin. So this is a good one. This is a good shout for you if you have adult acne. Think of it in that way. Then we move on to the ones where you're either going to be a serious skincare junkie or you've used all of these and you really want to go hardcore. So, Retinoates. This one came out first. This is the Retinoate Day and Night. This is Retinol Retinoate plus retinaldehyde in the intense one, which is in here. So this one is just your Retinol Retinoate. Hyaluronic acid, time-release technology, nourishing ceramides, drone-targeted copper peptides are also in the intense one. I'm just going to do them together so I don't get confused and confuse you. Now, this is designed for an aging skin of 40 plus. This is the most expensive products. This is suitable for day and night. And then the Retinol Intense also has the ceramides and the drone-targeted copper peptides. This is their most expensive. All the prices will be below. What you should expect, what you should do is treat these as your high-end daily serums that can replace whatever other serums you're using, because the odds are if you're using these, you're going to get as much anti-aging benefits as you can anyway. So this is AM and PM. You can use this, use it up, and then move on to this as your intensive PM. I will give more info below to do them justice, but all I can tell you is and I have not, there's no way I could have tried 12 products. Don't get me wrong, I'm not about to sit here and blow smoke up your ass. Say, oh yeah, I've tried all of them. Of course I haven't. But the people I've spoken to who have used these products are obsessed and won't use anything else. Make of that what you will. And as I say, I will do a follow-up with much more information. I'm going to finish with Image skincare, mainly for the Irish, I'm not going to lie. Image, I do believe, is still one of the best-selling lines in mainland Ireland. And again, they have given it to me in strengths and how it works up in strengths, and I have written it all over the packaging. But I want to give them a special shout out because they are the only brand with, you'll be able to count better than I will, all the videos we've done, all the products I've talked about, Image were the only one to send me an SPF with the vitamin A products and said, whenever we sell it with an SPF. I like your work, I see what you did there. Also, this is a bloody lush SPF, I've been trying it. Daily Ultimate Protection Moisturiser, SPF 50, no faffing about, proper SPF protection. Well done, Image, tilt my hat to you. Okay, now, if you want to start with Image, you're gonna look at the Ageless range, which looks like this. Total Retinol A cream, Total Repair cream, and Total Overnight Retinol mask. Don't stress about trying to write these out. I'm going to write them all down below for you, and there'll be more info and links to them. The Repair cream is 1.2% retinol, the Overnight Retinol mask is 2% retinol, and the Total Repair cream is 1.2. So what's this one? Total Retinol A. Oh, this is 6.25. Oh, I say. I will double check on that. I think that might mean it's a 0.6. I will do my due diligence and let you know. But having said that, this is the one that's listed as 6.25, and this is also a massive anti-aging serum because it's in a glycolic acid base. It's third on the inci list. So I think they're probably being completely kosher when they say 6.25. I might play with that one. Again, all info will be below. Then you move up to the MD range, and it's these two. Now, there is Restoring Youth Repair Cream and Restoring Overnight Retinol Mask. So basically, it's the same products, they just bump up the percentages. And they come in at 1% encapsulated retinol, of which it's 0.5 pure retinol, and the mask is 2.5% encapsulated retinol. So they bumped it up. If you want to go hard in the image line, think silver and the MD range. Looks like this. So this one, oh, wait for it, I've got to get this one right. That's this one and this is this one. Okay, the Youth Booster is 1.5% pure retinol, and that would work out right. There's two types of retinol there. There's retinol and retinol palmitate, and it's near the end of the inci list. However, this one is 10%. So it's listed at 10%, which means it's a 1% if you were putting it in conjunction with everything else. So this is a 1% retinol cream, and then when you look on the inci, it's bang in the middle, which you would think, yeah, everything else before it is buffers. Witch hazel, shea butter, rice bran oil, avocado oil, so they're buffering it basically. So this is a kind of an all-in-one. This is a 1%, it's got 10% in there, but when it's buffered it comes out at 1%. And if that's confusing you, watch all the earlier videos where we talk about it. This is the one that you want for image, top of the line. This is your humdinger. This is the one you want for Medicate, top of the line. For retinaldehydes, it's this one. If you want a retinal that is a retinaldehyde that is still in at a high percentage, but you have perhaps a smidgen of some hormonal bearding acne going on, try the crystal retinols. I have to say retinol, it's in my head, but it's Retinal. And then if you're a 20-year-old with bouncy boobs and bouncy cheeks, start with the 3 and just know that the rest of us aren't very friendly with you at all. And then Retinol 10 would be where you would be finishing up if you were in your 30s and coming out the other end. That's those. Environ we've done. All right, I've covered them off now. I recognise it's just a lot of info, and to be honest, I think that's why I was put off talking about it, because there's so much. Like I say, the retinol conversation isn't going away. I'm getting sent new retinol creams every single week. I will put this into more info on the blog, and I will do them one after the other so that you don't have to wait too long. Any questions, let me know. As I say, I'll tag Andy below. He can help on the osmosis front. Also, you should go and see him for a facial if you can get in. Do it. And everyone else has also offered help, so I might just start tagging all the brands and they can jump in and help. I will of course monitor to make sure they're not telling porkies, not that any of this lot would. This is a professional brand. I hope that was vaguely helpful and not too disappointing because you've had to wait like 17 years for it. Any questions, let me know. I will do a roundup Q&A in a couple of weeks when the questions from this have settled and I kind of know where everyone is sitting and what more info you need. And then we move on to SPF. See you soon.